everyone, and welcome to episode number 3 of the Spool Stories podcast. My name is Marilisa and I'm coming to you from Greece. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Ravelry and Etsy as Spool Stories, and show notes for everything that I show you could be found on the links down below. So, welcome if you're a new viewer, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Happy New Year! Today it's January 16th, 2019, and it's been almost 6 months since my last episode, but I have been participating in Vlogmas last year and I have really enjoyed that. There are 2 parts of Vlogmas videos up on this channel, and you can go and watch them if you like. And there are a few days, the last 4 days I think, that I haven't uploaded because we've been away, and I was a bit late on editing those videos, and then it kind of seemed out of date. So I will insert a little bit of footage at the end of this video, and I'm going to start with my finished objects and with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Fear cardigan, and this is a pattern by Larke from Fiber Tales. This is a pattern that was released I think at the beginning of October, and I test knitted this for Larke last September. And this is one of my most worn garments, knitted garments so far. I'm going to try and stand up and show you a little bit better. So, it's a cropped cardigan. It has a cable at the sides and around the sleeve here. And I have added some wooden buttons. And I've knitted this out of Drops Flora in the light grey colorway, and I'm really pleased with how this yarn is holding up. It is peeling a little bit under the arms, but not something major, and you can, even if I haven't cleaned that, there are just a few bits that I have just pulled out and it's fine. And this was a very quick knit, even though it's finger and weight. It's cropped and it's boxy. It goes well with dresses, and you know, if you want to wear something like a shirt underneath, like I'm wearing today. And I like this color, and this pattern is really easy. It's beginner friendly. It's a seamed cardigan. It's easy, it's stockinette stitch, but it has this cable on the side that makes it a little bit more interesting. And for me the trickiest part was the button band, and I didn't get gauge, so I had to, you know, make some changes. But everything, if you want to see, all the notes for this are in my Ravelry page, and for all the projects that I'm going to show you, I have notes in my Ravelry page. And I think that I would like the buttons to be farther apart. You know, I would like to have less buttons. But it's okay, it works really well, and I'm very satisfied. Finished object number 2 is something that you've seen before, and it's my Aura shawl, and this is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and I started this I think it was July that I started this. I've knitted this during the summer, and I wear this almost every day. I don't have many shawls. I have this one, I have the What the Fate, which is way too big to wear it every day. It's not that comfortable. And the colors that I've used are really bright and doesn't go with everything that I wear. And I also have a smaller one, which is the Symmetrical Sole by Sun & Cook. So this basically goes with everything that I wear, because I mainly wear greys or cream or, you know, dusty pink or purple. So this goes with everything. And this pattern starts with stockinette, and then there are some eyelets and a little bit of texture here. And it has this cable spine at the middle and a little bit of ribbing at the end. And I find that this has a very, how to say this, the size of it, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's the perfect size for me. And I have added only one row of fringe. The pattern calls to add a second row of fringe, I think somewhere around here, but I felt it was too much for me, so I've only added one row. It's knit out of merino cashmere nylon blend, and it's so heavenly soft. I love it. And I have dyed this yarn myself, and I am really proud for the result that I got and how the colors turned out. And of course they don't have a name because I'm not a yarn dyer. I just dye yarn for myself. And yeah, that's it. And more details on my Ravelry page if you're interested in seeing more. And I recently took some photos for some of my soles, and I have uploaded those as well, so you can go and have a look if you like. So this is make number 2. I also have a third finished object that I don't actually have with me because I gave it away, it was a present. And I have test knitted the Papa Sole for Audrey from Yarn Flakes, and I will insert a picture here now so that you can see. So this is the Papa Sole, and that was a present for my sister-in-law. It's an asymmetrical sole, and it's the first time that I've knitted something like that, and it was really fun. I find that this is a very beginner-friendly pattern. It has a lot of garter stitch, but it also has small portions of mosaic knitting and one color brioche knitting. And it's, I think, ideal for someone who wants to try new techniques but is intimidated by soles that are full of you know, color work or brioche. So you can have a try, and then you don't really have to be stressed because there are big portions of garter that allows you to relax and, you know, knit while you watch TV. And I've never done one color brioche before. I've only done brioche once on my What the Fate last year, and it was my first time. It was a 2-color brioche. So after that, 1-color brioche really seemed easy. I don't think it's difficult for anyone. I've never done any kind of color work so far, so this was my first time of doing color work. I think mosaic is color work, correct me if I'm wrong. And I didn't find that difficult either. And Audrey has a video tutorial that comes with a pattern and shows you how to do mosaic. So this is, it was a very enjoyable knit. It was a rather quick knit. I didn't finish very quickly, if you see on my project page, because there was about 3 weeks that I haven't worked on it at all because I was very busy with other things. But I was on time, thankfully, and I think I want to make one for myself. That sole also is a very good size for me and for my proportion. I'm not very tall. I'm 5'3", 5'4", something like that. I'm not good. I'm 163, and I have knitted this sole out of 100% Australian merino wool. I think it's not superwash, I'm not sure. And the contrast colors are merino cashmere nylon blend, and all of this yarn is dyed by me as well. And I started making this dyeing this yarn to make this sole, and as soon as the colors came out, the main color basically, I had dyed the minis earlier in the year. When I saw the main color, I knew that this had to be present for my sister-in-law, because these are totally her colors and they suit her a lot, and she wears a lot of these khaki or beigey, you know, olivey or colors. So that's a present for her. She loves it, she wears it a lot. And I think this is all I have to say about that. And these are all my finished objects as far as knitting is concerned. I have two garments that are sewn and finished, so I'm going to show you these now. So make number 1 is the Laurel dress that I've sewn, I think, in my second episode. And this is a pattern by Colette Patterns. And it's made out of a chambray, and I don't have a picture because I've worn this a few times, but I don't take pictures of myself. And you can see more details about it on my last episode. I have originally cut a huge size, a much bigger size that I needed. So I went down and I took in the side seams and everything worked. It's a very simple construction. I chose to do a sleeveless version. So you basically have one pattern piece for the front, and it has bust darts, and there are 2 pattern pieces for the back, and they have darts at the back. It has darts at the back as well. And I used some floral binding for the sleeves and for the neckline. And it's made out of chambray, and it has some flakes of color. I don't know if it's visible. I really like it, and I've worn it you know, as a summer garment, and I've worn it with tights and a cardigan for winter as well. So that's a very versatile garment. Now, make number 2 is the Charleston dress by Hey June Handmade, and this is it, and you can see it. And if I manage to take a picture, I will insert it here, but I don't have pictures of me wearing this either, even though I've worn it. And I haven't taken any pictures. And this is made out of, I think that this is a double knit. And the pattern calls for, this pattern comes with many sleeve options, I think 7, and 2 skirt options. So I did the cup sleeve, and I did the A-line skirt, and it has pockets, and the pattern originally calls for a zipper at the back, but I was in a hurry because I made this and I wanted to wear this on New Year's Eve, and I omitted that. And it's a jersey fabric, so I don't really need the zipper. It's very easy to put it on and take it off. And what else? Yeah. Oh, I think I've lengthened the skirt by an inch. Yeah. Oh, no. I've lengthened the body by an inch, not the skirt. And this fabric I got from a fabric shop here in Greece, and I don't remember how it's called, but there's not they don't have an online shop. But if you're from Greece and you're interested, just send me a message and I can tell you where to find it, if it's still available. And I really enjoyed, it was very easy to make. This fabric is pretty sturdy when you sew it because it's rather thick. It's, at the thickness of a ponte. And it is stretchy enough to work well for a jersey dress, but not lightweight, so it holds its shape very good. And I'm really happy with this dress as well. I want to make more winter dresses this year because I don't really have any winter dresses. I basically wear trousers during the winter, and I almost only wear dresses during the summertime. And I would like to change that because I like dresses, and I think I have to make a few more with heavier fabrics to be able to wear them during the winter. So that's all about finished objects, and let's go on with works in progress. And project number 1 is my Tanya sweater. So in case you don't know, which I doubt it, the Tanya is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and this is it. And I'm knitting this out of Nina threads yarn, and the yarn base is Silk Melody. It's 70% superwash extra fine merino and 30% silk, and it's a single ply, and the color is called Powder. So this is the color, and I'm practically in love with this color. I love it. And I have started this, I've knitted this top last summer, not all of it. I've knitted the whole lace section plus a couple of inches from the stockinette section, but it came out way too big. I haven't got gauges for that either, so I have probably miscalculated, and I had to rip back. Anyway, thankfully the lace section is a very enjoyable part of this top, and even though it's not very simple, it's very well written, so I kind of enjoy knitting this again. And I alternated skeins after the lace section, following the tutorial that Grace has in her, Grace from Bubbles Traveling Yarn has in her channel. And I have messed up at the beginning here. You can probably see here, because I didn't pay attention and I alternated skeins every 2 rows. So that resulted to having this inconsistency in my stitches. Well, a couple of rows later I realized that I was doing it wrong, and I changed that so that it's smooth from then, and I don't really mind. I don't think anyone will be able to see when I will be wearing this. So it kind of looks like a skirt at the moment, and I'm alternating skeins, as I've said, and here in the camera it looks like it's kind of striping, but I don't think that this is something you can see in real life. I love the color of it. I'm at the point where I think I must separate for the armholes, so I'm getting there. I don't know if I will have enough yarn. If I have yarn, I want to make this a long sleeve. If I don't, I'll make it short sleeve. That's okay. I'm really anxious to have this finished, but to be honest, I haven't worked on this this past week because it's very, very lightweight, and the weather is surprisingly cold here, and I don't think that I can get much wear out of it at the moment, so I have casted on something new. And this new cast on is living in this bag, which is one of my best sellers and one of my favorites. And I'm going to talk about this at the end of the podcast if you're interested, and about some news for the shop. So in here I have casted on the Weekender by Andrea Maury. And I'm knitting the Weekender in this colorway that I absolutely adore, and the yarn I'm using is Drops Sky. And this is, the pattern calls for a worsted weight yarn. Yeah, and I'm using a light worsted, and this is merino alpaca, a merino and alpaca blend, and baby alpaca blend, and it's super, super soft. I mean, look at this. And this yarn, in case you're not familiar with it, it's like an I-cord. And you know, it has a lot of yardage in 50 grams for being a worsted weight yarn. I think it's 190 meters. Yes, 190 meters or 207 yards in 50 grams. So because it's like it's been blown with air, you know, it's rather thick but very lightweight. And I casted on this, I think Saturday. I started this last Saturday, and this is how much I have. And I'm on my second skein, so you can see that this goes a long way, each skein of that. Oh, and the color number for this is 2152. And guess what? I haven't got gauge. So I'm thinking of doing a separate episode on how I swatch and how I measure for my sweaters, because I almost never use the suggested yarn, mainly because here in Greece we don't have a lot of these brands, and ordering sweaters quantity from the USA, it's guaranteed to be, to go through customs, and I just can't justify the cost, at least not at the moment. So I'm knitting with more affordable commercial yarn at the moment, at least for my big projects. If I'm knitting a shawl, or if I'm knitting socks or something like that, I can use hand-dyed yarn. So for this sweater as well, I didn't got gauge, so I swatched, I calculated, I did the math. I'm knitting the 5th size in order to get a finished garment that has the measurements of the 3rd size. And that's because I don't want to have as much positive ease as the pattern calls for. And the same goes with Tenya. I like boxy tops and oversized sweaters and stuff like that, but I don't feel that I can wear something with 10 or 15 inches of positive ease. I think my top is 6, maybe 7 inches. And I think for this top I'm going with 6 inches of positive ease. So the pattern recommends needle sizes from 4.5 millimeters to 5.5. I'm knitting this with 5 millimeter needles as my biggest needle size, and I'm using wooden needles, Knit Picks, I think. And this pattern originally uses the reverse stockinette size as the right side of the garment, and it features a slip stitch at the center front and center back, which imitates a seam. And this is a feature that I really like in this pattern, but after starting this sweater with this yarn, because this yarn is kind of fuzzy and fluffy and it has some texture, I decided that I don't like the reverse stockinette as much as I like the stockinette side. So I decided to make it plain, and I will use the stockinette side as my right side, and I will omit the slip stitch. And if I like the fit of it, I will probably make another one with a lighter color yarn and use the reverse stockinette and the slip stitch as well. So this is coming along well and rather quickly. I'm not a very fast knitter, and I don't even knit every day, so I'm not, the kind of person that can knit a sweater in 2 or 3 weeks. I need at least a month for a sweater. I'm optimistic about this one because it's worsted weight, so it's growing a lot faster than fingered weight sweaters that I usually make. And I think that I will get a lot of wear out of it. So what else there is to say about that? I don't think I have anything else to tell you. And yeah. So this is my second work in progress. And my third and last work in progress for today I'm sorry, is my crochet granny stripe crochet blanket. And if you have watched my vlogmas, you will have seen that I have casted on a blanket that I think it's too small. So I casted on a new one using the single crochet foundation, something like that Hannah from the Corner of Craft advised me to, look this up and find a tutorial on YouTube, and I did, and I'm very pleased. So I have started with this gray portion, which is the foundation canstone, which is this one here, and then there is the first row of the crochet, of the granny stripe crochet. And this is how much I have so far. Whoops. And I'm knitting this with yarn from an advent calendar swap that I did, and it was organized by Kelly from Lay Family Yarns. And I'm using the colors of this swap in the order that in the order that I opened them, from 1 to 24. And these are all beautiful colors, and thankfully I do have the Vlogmas episode where I have information about all this yarn and the colors that are in here. And I don't know how to crochet. This is the only thing that I know about crochet, and I've learned this this past summer because I wanted to cast on this blanket, and I find it very relaxing. It's the ideal project when I want to sit on the couch and watch some movie with the kids and talk at the same time, have a conversation, or it's ideal. You don't have to think about it at all. It is already getting kind of heavy, and I am a bit concerned about working on it as it gets bigger. We'll see how that goes. I'm thinking that maybe I could, do this in parts, in 3 parts maybe, and then combine those together. I don't know. Anyway, and as part of this mini skein swap, advent swap that we did, me and Kim, my partner, decided that we were going to exchange full skeins for Christmas Day. And this is what I got. This is yarn from A Wool Kitchen. It's a 50-50 merino silk. And those colors couldn't be better. They're just all the colors that I like. And I'm thinking of casting on a hat with this because I really, really need a hat. I only have one knitted hat. And as I said, the weather is surprisingly cold here at the moment. And I would love to have more options. And who doesn't like knitting hats? Now, these are all the projects that I'm currently working on, and let's just talk a little bit about dream knitting. This year I won't take part at Make 9. I did participate last year, and I had 2 versions of Make 9. I have a version for what I wanted to sew and a version for what I wanted to knit, and I did pretty bad with both of them, and it's going to be a little bit different this year. I will probably set goals as to what kind of items I want to knit. Maybe a couple of shawls or 2 sweaters, a hat, a pair of socks, and not be specific about the pattern, because new patterns come out every day, and I don't want it to be, restricted. I mean, knitting for me is fun, basically. It's a hobby. So I want to keep the fun of it. But it also covers my need for some clothes that are missing from my wardrobe. So I want to be, I want to take a look and see what I'm really missing and try to combine the pleasure of knitting with having those necessary items that are missing at the moment. So besides that, which, as I said, I'm going to try and make a separate video for that. What I'm dreaming about knitting at the moment is definitely a pair of a hat. I don't have two hats. I want to knit a hat, and one of the designs that I really like is the quill hat by Andrea Murray. I want to make a color war sweater, and I think that the Sipila is the first one that I want to cast on, because I think that being only a two-color sweater, it's probably going to be easier for me as a beginner than starting with something that has a lot more colors. And as far as sewing is concerned, I have already started making the Rain's backpack by Noodlehead, and I desperately want that because I really need it in my life right now. And I also want to make the Rosa dress by Tilly and the Buttons. And I have the fabric for it, I have the pattern. I think that this is the third winter that I'm dreaming about this dress, and I don't know why I haven't started that yet. Anyway, if you are here for the knitting and sewing section only, I think this is all I had to say for today. If you're interested in some shop news, you can stay around. And don't forget that at the end of the video, I will insert a little video from our trip in the mountains during the holidays. Shop news. Today it's Wednesday, January 16th, and I will have a big sale on the shop starting tomorrow, January 17th, until the end of January. And this sale is going to be 30% off. This is the biggest sale I've done so far, and I think that this is the biggest sale that I will ever do, because let's just face it, when you're a small business and handmade business, and you do everything by yourself, 30%, I think it's even more than I can actually afford, but I really need to make space for some new things. And hopefully, coming February, I will be able to release my first collection, and I hope that you will like it and that you will embrace it. And except from the bags and the needle cases and notion pouches that will be available, I will have lotion bars that I make myself. I have been making those for some time now, and they're really popular around my friends and family. So I thought that I would, put these in the shop, because many knitters like to use them as well. There will be some progress keepers, because I've made some of those for some swaps, and I remember how much I like doing, jewelry kind of stuff. So I think that I want to put some of those as well in the shop. And of course there will be bento bags, which are some of your favorites, and there will be big bento bags as well. So the sale is from January 17th to January 31st. It's 30% off. It's almost everything that I have, almost everything. The sale doesn't include the baskets, so go and have a look. I hope you find something you like. It's in my plans to have more regular videos. The goal is to have a video for you every 2 weeks, and I will also try to have a blog post every other week as well. And that's it, I think. I don't have anything else for you today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for spending some time of your day with me. And I will see you again soon. Bye.